We are back for our fantasy wrap-up of round 3, and there's 2 games here. We've got the Eels and the Eagles, and then finishing it off with the Knights and getting the win over the Storm, which was pretty good for them. They're well needed, that's for sure. There's plenty of controversy in this one. Let's just focus on the fantasy side of things here. Could have been obviously a better score for Tommy T, which would have been nice for owners of him, but wasn't to be. So we'll focus on the others there in this one. And it was a very low-scoring game. You had a few players in the 40s there. J-Trob, Gerbo in the 50, and then Moses at 67, who had a really big game in this one, and still surprisingly is kicking 1 goal a game, and then Gutho takes over the rest. It's strange how that's been playing out at the moment, but 67 for Moses, 3 try assist, 1 try, and yeah, just mainly kick meters outside of that, because running meters were pretty low for him at 44, and it was for most of the players here, unless you're involved in all of the attack, like Moses was. Brooks got involved a little bit as well. Outside of that, the ball was in play for only just over half the game. And tackle numbers were, if you're looking at the last game compared to this game there was over 100 tackles difference. Like, I think the Eels made 250, the Storm made 366, and I think the Knights were 350. So crazy differences there with the amount of time with the ball in play. Like, there was 350 and 366 to 250 odd to 260 odd in this one. So not great on that front. And if you had a lot of fantasy plays in this one, you probably weren't too happy with the output of those just because of the ball time in play. But Moses 67, good bounce back from him. Definitely won't be involved in that much attack every week, but good to see that in a game that was fairly close that he was able to come out and do really well. But I do understand that a lot of people traded him out after that first round, or at least the second round as well. So good to see for that. And other people like myself were looking at potentially buying him soon, and that kind of halts all of his price drops at 67. Gerbo, 50 for him, worked hard in the middle, 48 tackles. He was one of the only ones that got any sort of tackle numbers, with the Eels having a little bit more ball than that of the Manly boys. Did anyone else drop? I dropped 1,000 ranks overnight and about 20 points. It was an absolute shocker, the updates from this game. It seemed to be that all the players that we owned went down in this game and the Knights game. And if you kind of held your score and didn't lose too many points, then you had a good uptick in ranks overnight. So yeah, that was my story. We'll get to that in the round results and a little bit later when we blow up about the old 28 down here. Brooksy, 47, so good stuff from him again. Averaging 42, it's okay. He won't make much money out of this, but he's definitely getting involved in a lot of the attack. And DCE is not so much, so we'll be following him and his price drops, that's for sure. Daily Cherry Evans. Hopgood, it's the up and down, man. First game, 40-odd. Third game, 40-odd. And then 80 or whatever it was last game. So very similar to that of Adam Elliott, who we'll get into in a sec as well. But 46 for Hopgood in the 61. The general base wasn't there. 25 tackles. We had 92 on the run meters. Just so low for any of the middles that play 60 minutes in this. And a lot of it was obviously spread to the edges. And then there was a lot of drop ball, a lot of penalties in this one, with a lot of tries being scored as well. 9 at that. And then Tommy. So should have got more, as we said, but a try assist, 3 line break assists, and a try. So getting involved in a decent amount. 5 tackle breaks, 175 run meters. It's all solid, and I do find myself lucky. I do own him in the head-to-head team, but to find myself lucky that not owning him in my team has netted a 48.3 average over 3 rounds. I just did not expect that after round 1. Got a bit unlucky with a lot of the tries and try assists that he could have got in that one. Last week he was trying so hard, not much kind of went his way, and then this week just a strange game. Obviously got a lot of his points in the first half, 30 odd, and then it slowed down from there when the Eels kind of came back after the slow start from them. So yeah, very interesting. He's still a priority target, I think, for a lot of coaches, and they've had some pretty tough games as well, like some really competitive games, and it'll get easier eventually. I think they've got the Dogs at some point soon, so I'm not sure if it's this week coming or the one after, but that's where they're at. Junior Paulo there, an incredible try assist for him with an offload there, 4 of them at that, 126 meters in 31 minutes. So very, very impressive. Low minutes is strange, but I suppose that's the way they want to use him sometimes, which is cool. At least BA's not smashing all of his forwards at once. Garrick at 43, again, thought he would have got more in this game with 2 line breaks, a try assist and a try. But again, errors, missed tackles, penalties. He was down a negative 13 in this one. So you'd want that to improve a little bit for him to really get into the 50s and cement himself as a gun center in this league. And I was potentially looking at him in the head-to-head side, and when he went over early, and it was like, oh, okay, here we go. It's going to be one of those games, but obviously the second half, as I said, slowed down for all of the Manly players. Congrats to Blaise Talangi for a great try, great debut. 20 tackles, 3 misses, 89 run meters, all solid numbers in a game that was low in stats. Madison came on, did plenty of work through the middle, 40 in 39. Good stuff for him. He'll drop in cash. Ola Kawatu, bit of a shocker, bit of a strange one for him in this with a 39. Just not really involved in much of the attack. As I said, everyone's stats were low, but 80 run meters for him, 3 tackle breaks. Tackles were lower, but no tries, no try assists in this one. It went out to the edges a little bit more in this game. If you did buy him, if you are holding him, you are holding steady, and still a 54 average in the 3 games, even with the 39. So yeah, a big one round 1, solid last week. He'll get back to try scoring ways in the next week or 2. Dylan Brown just continues to lose money here, 35 in this one. Tackle numbers still fine, a couple of errors, a couple of inside 10s. Not much on the kick meter side. The only real kick he made was the one that got a try assist, so that's that. And I do think that he is a slight worry if you do own. At this point, you are just hemorrhaging cash and not really getting any good scores at 36.7. But we have seen with Dylan that usually, he said, does seem to start a little bit slow. And then after a bunch of weeks, it's just, you've got to pick the right week to get on him, because then he seems to just go boom and start scoring incredibly well. So it hasn't happened yet. It might take a few more weeks, but eventually he's going to be one of those guys that we will be targeting, especially closer to the Origin period, with him not playing in Origin. Tulangi, nice try line from him. I thought it was Cardi going through again for a nice cheap one, like round 1. It wasn't the case. Harper scored a try, but yeah, they are just trying to destroy that left-hand side defense, aren't they? The opposing teams. Vasega there with 32, so not as good of a game for him. Obviously, stats-wise, again, it's hard to judge many of these guys in the stats department, just with how things went in this game. And then you got DCE, obviously, yeah, the stats man himself, down to 31. So he's averaging 41 for the year now. He'll be down another sort of 30, 40K. And yeah, into the 700s very soon. And we definitely need to keep an eye out on him to see how things go. Anything down in 700, I think will be, if he can start playing a bit better, scoring a bit better, then that could be cool. But it might be closer to Origin by then and a bit annoying as a pickup. Penasini, so again, the stats were a bit lower. Didn't get to run too much. He still kicked for 49 meters. Good on him. For 72 run meters there, 14 tackles for a miss, 1 tackle break, and got that nice try off a kick to start off this game. So yeah, 30, a bit of a low one. And again, unfortunately, it's just this game. Just everyone just getting absolutely pummeled. You see even there, Cartwright got 28 and 52 minutes with a couple offloads to hand, 1 to ground, 14 tackles. Like, it's just so low across the board. And then anyone that came on for low minutes, Waddell scored a try. Yeah, Barlow there had a good one in his time out there. Madison was very high in his lower minutes. So all the bench guys seemed to dominate through the middle, and that was that. All right, let's get this out of the way. Gutho pretty low, so he's going to go down again, even with kicking goals. It's just not happening for Gutho at the moment. But Lussick, I don't know, I swear he was on 36, and they're like, all right, we'll cop that in this game. He was on 21 at halftime, and then I swear I watched him make minimum 15 tackles in that second half, and yeah, just nothing. 28 points. Oh, that's just absolute killer. Out of all the players this week, he's the one I'm most annoyed about. Obviously, just because when you trade him in, you hope for better. He will make a little bit of cash, but he does need to go back into the mid-40s next week to get that cash rolling again, because now he's down at a 44 average compared to the 50-odd that he was. And this 28, just this game though, hopefully it just goes back to a more normal stats line next game, and he can get back into the 40s. So 36, I would have been yep, terrible stats game, we're fine. But 28, it's a killer, man. Obviously, yeah, kind of expected this game there'd be no attacking stats for him after getting 2 games with attacking stats in a row. He tried to score in that last second too. Just a little burrow over. That would have been nice. Just a little 40-odd would have been cool. But he'll be fine longer term. It was a pick for me that because I had Harry Grant, I wanted to get a decent hooker in, and we know that he can average somewhere around that 40, 45 would be nice. longer term. Wasn't expecting a 28, that's for sure. So hopefully a bounce back from him. For a lot of people that did buy him, it was 8 or so, 9% of the game that ended up going for Joey in this one, now owned by 13.4. Still not a huge amount, so it does hurt being an owner this week, personally. And then talk about terrible scores. Sean Lane, this was the worry with him, unfortunately. I was worried about Ben Trbojevic this week as well, but Lane, sort of just from the preseason, we just hadn't seen him come out and play like we hoped he would in how he played in 2022, and he's just completely showing that, unfortunately. 26 tackles, 6 misses and 2 errors and a penalty with no attack again. So just had that one game with a try, kind of saved his score last week, but outside of that, a 31 average. Very, very sad. He needs to be sold, unfortunately, before he loses too much cash, because that 18 is going to ruin his price for a while now. And then Burbo, I got pretty unlucky in the Supercoach world. I had benched Burbo for like Tuapiki, Leibart, these type of things. I was like, I'm not too excited on what he's going to score this week against that tough right-hand side defense of Eels. And then he ended up getting taken off for the last 20 minutes as well. So 16 tackles for him, an error, a penalty, not much running, no tackle breaks, no offloads, just a shocking game overall, fantasy-wise. And let's hope that he still keeps his spot next week. And if it is a 60-minute roll, then surely against some of the lesser teams will be fine. But a little bit of worry for sure. Has made us some good cash already, but that's going to absolutely go to a halt now. And all these cash cows, it's tough getting money. Tough making money this week, that's for sure. Shawnee Russell, 14. Not great for him either. Again, his money-making, not that it was much, but his money-making just gets to an absolute halt right now as well. So this whole game, guys, was just crappy. And let's just move on, because it's, not making us feel nice. That's for sure, that game, if you had multiple players in it. All right, speaking of good scorers, hey? Tyron Wishart strolls over for a pretty comfortable try there in the back end and gave them a chance. And everyone was worried about the guys out the back, and turns out it was Wishart that you had to worry about, which happens with guys like Hastings. You saw that the other week in this type of game. But Wishart was 66 for those that own him. If you do, odd, but there's 13% that do. There you go. Good score from him. Big tackle numbers, good run meters as well, with a couple of line breaks and a try. Kaipi Spall, he becomes a little bit more interesting now that he obviously had like a solid score last week in his 80 minutes. This week he gets to 61, and it's 39 tackles, 4 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 145 meters. So that base there of tackles and the run meters of 53 is tremendous for a guy that you're paying $5.20 for, and he's the guy that you want now over Smithies, just because he has way more upside than what Morgan does, and obviously 80 minutes as well on that edge. And it looks like that Dylan Lucas came back off the bench in this one and played 20 minutes and went to the right-hand side with Frizzell coming to the middle, and that's why Kai was able to play that full 80. So if this is the case going forward, then he comes into people's thoughts as a potential trade-in. They have a nice buy schedule as well for the Origin period, and he's going to be one of those guys that you're going to want. If he can average anywhere near the 45-50 mark, then he's got 150k to make, and some good scores out that with no Origin. And there we spoke about in the preseason that the Knights were players that you could hold for the entirety of the year, and he comes into becoming an option for sure. And you've got Gagai in there, just continues to score like a superstar. 57 again in this one, 54 average, which is exactly what he was priced at coming into this, and he's averaging better than most of the top middle guns and edge guns that we've got in the game right now. I'm going to go through that in the round results, just all on the side there, all the people's averages after 3 rounds, and a lot of the top tier guns outside of like Yo Haas are way down on what they were priced at. So yeah, shocker. Speaking of people that are fair way down on their price, it's Harry Grant, and thankfully got a score up near where he was priced at to begin the year with a 58. Man, he works hard. 57 tackles, 6 misses, an error, a penalty, a turnover tackle, 74 run meters, 2 tackle breaks, a line break assist as well. So a fair bit in this game. Still looking and hoping for a try or a try assist at some point for Harry. If they can get things together and maybe come up against a slightly lesser side or something like that, then he'll be able to get involved in a few of those things. But we'll take the 58. He's averaging a little less than that of Robson, so congrats to Robson owners for picking him instead. And now I've got him on a buy this week. So round 4 was always a worry for me. Round 3 was the excited one. I thought I'd be able to do well. Round 4, we'll have to see how things go, and if everyone gets named as well that we want and need in our sides to field a 17 anyway. But yeah, Gagai with 57, Gamble with 57, so it's much better scoring, guys. As I said, the ball in play a lot more, lots more tackles, plenty of run meters for a lot of these guys. You're seeing 200 for Ponga. Katoa got over 100, Trent Liero got 170, Pap 160 odd, even Wishart 150. Obviously had a longer range run there, but overall, all of these guys are getting good run meters in this game. So that's Gamble, much better game from him. Big tackle numbers as well, wow. Meaney, 53, he's making good tackles. He's getting involved in offloads, tackle breaks, kicking goals. No tries in this one, but it's a really solid 53, and expect him to kind of stay similar to where he's priced at, around that 600 mark going forward. Ponga up to a 52, so a much better score from him. Score just above where he's priced at now, so that'll halt a few of his price drops. It'll only go down a little bit this week. Had the 3 goals, had the try assist. He had the 9 tackle breaks and 200 meters. So eventually, some tries will come, but you'll take the 52 this week. Hopefully, the next week's coming up. It'll improve, and he's a really important player coming into this week. All the wing fullbacks that are playing for you are going to be really needed because they with Tuapiki with Pap out, a few people will be down on wing fullbacks. So Ponga, a good one to own this week coming. Eli Katoa, let's have a look at him after their round 4 bye, because again, no try in this one, just all in base to get 52. Very impressive. No turnover tackles either, no try savers. Look at him as a very, very good option heading into round 5. So we'll keep that in our thoughts. Averaging 50 without really any attacking stats. Trent Liero, 72 minutes, 176 meters. Good tackle numbers, 52 for him. So good on you, Trent, the GOAT from last year. Next we have Pap at 51. So nice score again, averaging 50.7. It will get a good price rise as well coming into this week, which is nice. He'll be up over 550, 555 at least coming into this week. And, it's 8 tackle breaks, good run meters, 2 line breaks, a try. Plenty of good stuff for Pap. And, happy with that for sure. Yeah, not too much else to say. If you don't own him here, you bring him in around 5. You're holding through the bye. No problems. Frizzell, so 62 minutes in this one. Played a little bit through the middle. Came off a little bit early on his edge. And, just lower score from him, averaging 43 for the season. He's someone to keep a watch as well through the origin period. King, 41. That's that. Cogger, 36. Yeah, not looking at Cogger at his price, it looks like. Gamble doing a fair bit of the work as well. Sean Blaw, 35 in this one. If you're looking at having Chan, I do expect Chan to come back into this side in round 5. He just had an infected hand, so hopefully that comes all good. And, he gets a week and a half recovery, and he'll be fine from there. But 35 for Blaw. Just wasn't really involved too much, was he? You didn't really see him much on the park. Ran the ball a little bit, tackled a little bit, but definitely didn't get involved as much as, I suppose, Chan did. Yes, he got some tackles and whatever. The ball was in play a lot, so you'd expect to get a good number of stats in this one, and it was just okay for Blaw. So expect Chan to come back in. It was only because of the hand. Chihuahua there, 35. Leo Thompson, 34. Both average, okay scores. Elliott, 33, so just a bit of a shocker in this one. Had a couple of errors, 33 tackles for 5 misses in the end, so didn't miss any last week and then just got smashed in this one. 90 run meters, tackle break in there, a turnover tackle, so 33 you'll have to cop. Obviously, we had to cop that from Lustig as well, and a few of the other top guys in Taylor Mays and stuff got low scores this week. But 65 minutes you're very happy with, and hopefully that he can bounce back to that. It's just weird that he can just go through week-to-week basis, just completely different player. Looked incredible last week and then just looked bad this week. So hopefully he can bounce back from that. We'd love to see it. Jenkins, 32. So he's got a bit of a better score than last week for sure. We had Crossland in there, 29 in 60 minutes, and nothing special on his front. There's a few people that own him, and he's a worry going forward, given Brayley is back now. Pezzett, a low one. Again, we're not looking at him. Brayley got the 27 minutes for 23 points. So straight back into his work, as he always does. Very much looking at him if he ends up getting a start. And 60 minutes is what we want, with probably a 500k price point. If we can get somewhere near there with his work ethic, then that'll be great. In the meantime, just watch and see how he plays and hope that he comes out and he looks good on a week-to-week basis and doesn't get injured. Best with 22, a bit of a shocker from him. Points-wise, just good run meters, but 3 missed tackles and error. Nothing really doing. Lucas, 22. Again, look for him to lose some cash for a while. and then see what happens in our edges. And if we can get him back on an edge, if he gets named on the bench again, expect a very similar type of game. 30 minutes off the bench, and yeah, see what happens. Kane Bradley ended up playing the 61 minutes in this one just due to Remus Smith going down, unfortunately for that. So yeah, Bradley came on, got his 16 out in the centres, so good on him. Warbrick as well had a couple of really strong runs, but overall, 2 errors, 2 missed tackles, bit of a low one from him. And that's probably all we really need to make note of in this game. So they're the two, guys. As I said, in the round results, I'll have a little quick look on all the scores down the side for you, if I can remember. Hopefully I do. That's the 2 games for round 3 wrap-up. Thank you so much for going and watching these. Go back and check out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now this review as well. And obviously, if you want to get involved with the headlines chats and the deeper dive into that kind of stuff on the game-to-game basis, then do that as well. And really appreciate all you guys, and those that haven't left a 5-star review on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. That's super helpful as well. That's been over 100 and something people have done that on Spotify, which is amazing. So thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.